My name is John, and the International Criminal Court is now in session. It is July 9th, 2023, day 501 of the special military operation in Ukraine by Russia, also more infamously known as the Russian invasion of Ukraine. It's also been now a full month since the Ukrainians started their counteroffensive to reclaim control of the entirety of Zaporozhye, Kherson, and southern Donetsk Oblast, all from Russia. So, without any further ado, let's get into it. First of all, Pitazhaki. This area, this village, more like, just fell to the control of the armed forces of Ukraine not too long ago. Syriac maps pointed this out, and in addition, Deep State UA, which is the pro-Ukrainian source. Military Maps Info, which is a pro-Russian source, also agrees that Pitazhaki has fallen to the control of the armed forces of Ukraine. So that's that. Next up, we got the contested area just north of Robotyne, which is in turn south of Orikhiv. This whole area here, as you can see, which is neither colored red or blue, so neither Russian or Ukrainian, is tightly contested. Deep State UA, once again, agrees with Syriac maps on this. Military Maps Info, pro-Russian source, also agrees that not much has been going on, though I think they have the area a little closer to Robotyne, like the front line's a little closer, at least on their map. But yeah, keep an eye out on that. Next up, we got, oh, of course, Velika Novosilka, this area. This is where the Ukrainians have had arguably their most successful run-in. Ravenopil has fallen to the AFU not too long ago, so like a few days or so, maybe a week ago, I think. But yeah, it fell. Novodorivka has also now been secured by the armed forces of Ukraine, and Ukrainians are also rumored to be advancing southeast towards Pryutne. I don't know if I pronounced that correctly, but if I didn't, I apologize, but they are advancing southeast towards this village here. And if they were to take control of it, they will then be a little closer to the first Russian line of defense, which is somewhere in this area here. Ukrainians have also been trying to advance in this area here, but they haven't been able to do so. So this line, for the most part, despite what they've been saying on social media, has been relatively stagnant. Stagnant. I repeat that, by the way. So, yeah, that's that. In Bakhmut, also known as Artemovsk, the Ukrainians are trying to take control of Kalivshka and the village of Berkivka. Now, if they were to take control of these two, it would be bad news for Russia, because then Ukrainians can use that to sort of maybe launch an attack on the city of Bakhmut itself. And in addition, they could also make life a living hell for those deployed in Solidar. This is all looking a little too familiar to me, because for those who don't remember, last summer the Russians took several Donetsk and Lysychansk, and then they advanced just a little towards, I think, Bilokorivka, and I think they took it, but then they just stopped. They didn't do anything after that. They didn't even try going for Seversk. And in retrospective, that was a big mistake by Russia, by not continuing the advance. But yeah, Ukrainians are trying to reclaim control of this area here. Military Maps Info agrees that they're really pushing. Deep State UA is a little more biased, and I think they pointed out that Ukrainians are now very close to entering the village. But for now, just to play it safe, this whole area here, as they themselves said, is in the gray zone. And I think, oh wait, according to Deep State UA, this is just now, by the way, that I just found out, Berivka is contested. Oh boy. But I think according to Military Maps info, that is not the case, and neither does Syriac Maps agree either. So yeah, take what Deep State UA is saying with a grain of salt. Now, for the last front that we'll talk about before we move on to some news, Dachi is now back in the gray zone. The armed forces of Ukraine, as all of you guys know by now, crossed the Dnieper River, and they took control of a big chunk, this area here, of Dachi from Russia. And then Russian infantry and Russian artillery and airstrikes pounded this place to death. They smothered it. And I think by now the Ukrainians have either been wiped out or they have withdrawn back to the right bank of the Dnieper River, which is basically Kherson City. So, yeah, Dachi is no longer under the AFU control in any shape or form. And the Russians are not there either that much. So, yeah, just like as it was before in the past, it's a gray zone. So, yeah, don't listen to reporting from Ukraine and his lies regarding the status of Dachi. It's a gray zone. So anyway, let's talk about some drama. Now, as all of you know by now, Ernogodar's Zaporozhye nuclear power plant has been the topic of some major drama because there has been rumors on the pro-Russian side that Ukrainians were going to blow it up just so they can have the Americans come into the country and directly intervene along with the rest of NATO, because the counteroffensive in the southern direction is failing. And then you have the Ukrainian side that is claiming that the Russians are going to blow it up because they're just evil. They just want to kill people or something, give everyone cancer from all the radiation. So like what it was in Chernobyl in the mid-'80s. I mean, both sides are making ridiculous claims. But fortunately, so far, the ZMPP has not been blown up, so we can rest easy at least for another day. So yeah, next up we got the delivery of cluster munition to Ukraine from the United States. Now, just not too long ago, the U.S. government under Joe Biden has announced the delivery of a military aid package worth $800 million. So once again, more of our hard-earned taxpayer money is going to Ukraine. It just doesn't stop. We could be, I don't know, fixing the infrastructure, getting rid of homelessness, raising minimum wage, I don't know. Anything that'd be good for the country. But still, they're giving that money to Ukraine. Of course. But yeah, you would all be surprised to notice, but the U.S.'s biggest allies on Ukraine, the United Kingdom, Canada, New Zealand, and Spain, they're all against this move by the United States to send over cluster munition to Ukraine. Especially Rishi Sunak, the Prime Minister of the UK, who commented that his country was part of a convention that contained like 122 others, I think, or 123 countries, that prohibits the use of weapons like these. Because to these countries that are a part of that convention, cluster munition is considered a WMD, a weapon of mass destruction. So yeah, they don't like those weapons being used there. And if anything, it just shows you that the fact that they're delivering those weapons there now just says all you need to know about the current state of the counteroffensive. I think it's failing. It's not going well. If there had been a big success, it would have happened or so a week or two within the actual assault. Because for those that don't remember, I'll actually load up Deep State UA here. So when the Russians have to deal with the Kherson counteroffensive here, it was at first failing. They were repelling all the attacks. And then all of a sudden, the Ukrainians start this big assault in Kharkov Oblast. And what happened was it took them like a week or two to basically get most, if not everything, back from Russia. It was like so easy for them. And then the troop morale in Kherson just completely deteriorated. And then Surovikin was like, all right, we'll leave. There's no point in staying here, because we have to defend the rest of the front that is defendable. So yeah, they left. Now, flash forward now to like summer 2023. There has been no such repeated success from Kharkov and Kherson in this counteroffensive. No such big success whatsoever. They can brag about how well they're doing in the vicinity of Velika Novosibirsk and how they secured it in somewhat. But this is not anything like what we saw with Kharkiv and Kherson Oblast last year. It's nothing alike. And the counteroffensive is going so bad that the Ukrainians on their Twitter... Oh, and by the way, I'll actually talk about this video in just a moment. They made a video where they're telling people to basically shut up, let us do our work. We're cooking, don't worry. And they're also low-key roasting their demographic. Like, just watch this video. I'll mute my mic. Okay. You know, let's be honest here, people. This is a sign that something terrible has gone wrong. And they know it. And they're not going to admit it. They claim they know what they're doing. But the fact is, their overhyping of this whole thing has really made them look kind of pathetic. Sort of like on the same level as Russia. Because you know how many people were mocking the Russians for not being able to advance too far in their previous offensives on Ukraine? Well, now people are sort of questioning the success of the counteroffensive. And the Ukrainians also made another video, by the way, before we get to that Snake Island one, where they have been showing off their success. All right? So let's watch this video too. Are you kidding me? You literally just showed exactly what I'm showing my people now. Like, I just showed everybody what I've literally been saying. This counteroffensive, despite what they're claiming, is not going well. And the fact that they only had to show the success of Velika Novosilka and Pitagaki to show for it, it just tells you all what you need to know. It's not going well. They can cope all they want, but the fact is, the Ukrainian counteroffensive is failing. It has not been going well. I don't know what to tell you. I really don't know what to tell you. And they've been using Deep State UA too, so maybe in the tier list that I recently just made, maybe I can put Deep State UA maybe under Fed tier now, but I digress. At least they're using some sort of a reliable source to back up their claims. But the fact that they combined that video where they have been hyping it up and just telling people to shush and not spoil the whole thing, yet they've been making this video showing off their success in Velika Novosilka. Again, it just says all what you need to know. And also don't forget, the videos are in English too. And these two videos, if anything, have been made for the purpose of letting the people, their funders, or their donors more like, and their supporters in the West that everything is fine, everything is going good, we're winning. But from my point of view, something is definitely terribly wrong. And indirectly, they may have admitted it. So yeah. But now I want to also share this video of President Zelensky going to Snake Island. I won't really need the volume for this because it's basically just straightforward. He literally went on a boat trip to Snake Island. It's all like PR stuff, as you can imagine. They put up a wreath there, some flowers for all the guys that either fought for the island, defended it, or what. Zelensky signed his name, I think, on the sign. And then, yeah, he told people to say glory to Ukraine. And then they put some wreaths in the water, too, as a way to honor the fallen. And yeah, straightforward. But yeah, that's the current state of things for the armed forces of Ukraine on the front. But now let's talk about something that just happened the other day. And I'm going to play this video right now in a moment. But yeah, I'm sure all of you know by now that the Ukrainians that were defending Mariupol, Azovstal, they've all come back to Ukraine. Literally, they violated a deal with Russia. Turkey too, by the way, because Turkey was the one mediating this deal. They promised that they would basically not send these dudes back to Ukraine. And yeah, that's basically all you need to know. And as you can all expect by now, the Turks have violated that agreement. So yeah, let's watch this video provided by the Ukrainian MOD. Forgot to mute my mic here. And that, my friends, is why you don't make any agreements with Turkey. Oops. So, yeah, they took the plane back to Ukraine, and I assume they landed in Lviv, also known as Lvov in Russian. And yeah, they got a huge welcome back ceremony. This is their welcome home party. Crowd's been cheering. Like, literally, people have been raising their phones and cameras up in the air. This was a big day for them. A huge boost in morale. And then here's the video of Denis Prokopenko, one of the leaders of the Azov battalion, speaking to the press about, yeah, his return to Ukraine. So, yeah, let's hear what he has to say.
Впевнений в тому, що армія – це командна робота, і сьогоднішнього дня ми разом з вами ми продовжуємо боротьбу. Ми обов'язково своє слово скажемо ще в бою. І найголовніше на сьогоднішній день – це те, що українська армія перехопила стратегічну ініціативу на лінії фронту. І з кожним днем ми просуваємося вперед, знищуємо ворога, звільнюємо тимчасово окуповані території. І я впевнений, що ми зробимо все можливе і неможливе для того, щоб прискорити цей процес і щоб війна дійшла до свого логічного завершення. Слава нації!
Буде повертатися.
Впевнений в тому.
So yeah, the guys are back in Ukraine, and yeah, they're going back to the front immediately, presumably to take part in the big counteroffensive that was started by the armed forces of Ukraine back in early June 2023. So yeah. Well, anyway, folks, that's going to do it for today's recap of the last few weeks. I know that's a lot to take in, a lot to talk about. But yeah, if you want, like the video, subscribe to the channel if you want. And yeah, I'll see you all next time. Have a great day.